Hi there, this is Cassandra. I'm a Riffle in Time, and I'm so glad you're here. Today we are doing part 2 of my deck collection update video. So these are primarily decks that are new to my collection, but not currently in the shop. So I actually do have 2 that I set aside for this video that are now in the shop. One was a Kickstarter and one was a pre-order, and they just kind of happened to show up. So I'll show those first. Those are actually in the shop. The remaining are either in kind of the in-between of going into the shop, or a very few amount of decks in my collection are not intended for the shop and they're just kind of my own private decks. I think maybe a fourth of my collection make up that, and like the remainder is my shop deck. So I also have another video coming in either next week or the week after. I'll be doing my Purgatory update, and that is going to have all the decks that end up coming in that don't go to the shop, and they're gonna find new homes that way. So really this is like a special little subset of decks, but I did want to show them, and the best place is here. So first we are going to do those 2 decks I was talking about. This is Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. This was the Kickstarter I backed. I have really honestly enjoyed a lot of the it's like collage art style decks. Another one of the collage art style decks I really like is the Practical Magic Starter Tarot deck by Chingay. But if I find a collage deck I like, it makes its way to me. I love a photography deck, and there's not a lot out there, so I think I kind of get some of my photography love through these kind of decks. I love the colors of this. It's such a vibrant deck and just really beautiful. I don't know, it's just beautiful, and I really have been enjoying its energy. The edges are beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's also matching that like gold, not gold, but that foiling that is the same kind of like bluish. I don't know, I'm not really good with colors, but it's also in the box. I'm a sucker for like a really cohesive set up too, like when everything kind of feels like it goes together. Next is the pre-order. This is Goddess of Love Tarot. This is by Gabby Herstick, and that was, as soon as I found out there was a tarot deck coming by Gabby, I had to have it, so I pre-ordered it. I have really enjoyed the books that Gabby has written and other places I've found Gabby, so I had to back this. I think that it is a little more femme than I tend to go with, like all of the pinks and roses and reds, and like that goddess energy is not one I kind of step into a lot. So I was excited to dab my toes in, and if I was going to do it with or for anyone, guided by, I guess, by anyone, it would be Gabby. So I really do like the guidebook too. I like the bit of information it gives. But yeah, I'm not normally like a pinky red fan, so if I got a pink red deck, there had to be a good reason. Next up, we have the decks that are not in the shop. So first I will show the 2 I think that are out of print. I think the rest of them are in print. Show these 2 first, get them out of the way. I'm sorry for showing them, but I have to be truthful. First up, actually, you know what? I think it's only one that's out of print. Look at me, I'm so wonderful. This here is the Mini Mice Tarot. I saw this on someone's page. I don't even remember who, but I saw it on someone's page and became quite smitten with this sweet little deck, and I had to have it. So I kind of kept an eye out for it on eBay. I wasn't going to pay like a crazy amount for it, but I did find it pretty reasonably priced, and then also the proceeds went to rescue animals that this person cares for. It was actually like a donation to help fund, so it was really just kind of a special like setup there of how it came to my hands, and I really love it a lot. It honestly, it's just so cute on top of like the artwork. It's also small, and it's just, I really enjoyed it. Then another deck, this is the one I wasn't sure is out of print, so don't take my word for it. It was a long time ago that I got this deck, And I don't know, I got it on eBay. It's the Legend of Tarot. It's a Legend of Zelda inspired deck. I do not use this deck to read with. Mostly because it doesn't live in my room with my other decks. It lives with my Legend of Zelda, I don't know, my little shrine. I grew up playing Legend of Zelda. It's my favorite game. And I really like to see the characters I've grown up knowing turn kind of like into like different archetypes and thinking of situations based off of that. Majora's Mask haunts me. But it was fun. Especially it's really just I love Legend of Zelda, okay? You know, that's really what it is. I do not read with this one. And I think that I'm okay with that right now. I have a lot of decks on my plate and I'm just happy to have this one like displayed out and joining the rest of everything. Then we have one that might be in the shop coming up. This is the Somnia Tarot, but this is the illustrated edition. I did a full video side-by-side comparison with the original edition, so I won't take too long on this because you can go see everything you want and more. But I did say in that video how pleasantly surprised I was with how much I enjoyed this, because I am a photography girl and I was worried that I was going to feel like a lacking when I pulled out this deck. And honestly, it was just, I think it was well done. I think it's really well done, which is not surprising because I think Nicholas is really amazing artist. So then we have the Small Spirits Oracle deck. This deck is one I also am looking to get in the shop. I just, as my son calls it, buglies. I love buglies. And this has, I think, a really cool, some black and white, but some color in it too. You'll see just like pops of color. Certain cards have color, certain ones don't, but I just really enjoy the little like guidebook with it, the meanings behind the cards. I love how it's not just like the pretty bugs, you know, the aesthetically pleasing bugs. You have the range, and I just think it's really, really cool. And look at those edges. Oh, that's it. I mean, they're not only, I don't know if you can see the sparkle on them, but they are phenomenal. But I really, really love the artwork in this deck and its energy. It feels really great. The next deck was a Kickstarter I backed. If you see this deck and you cringe because of the 3 long years we waited, I'm sorry for traumatizing you again, but I really do think this is a wonderful deck. Unfortunately, it was like during the COVID of it all, this deck just got stuck at sea, and not really at sea, but the production was halted and it took a very long time for this to get here. Thankfully, it is a very beautiful deck that I now have in my collection. I love to read, I love literature, so having like Moby Dick be the devil, you know, it's really cool. I have not got a chance to really work with this deck. Again, I don't have a lot of time that is not already dedicated to different decks. I think I spend a lot of time for the shop working with shop decks, and then I have a son and a million other things going on. So to find time to like use on just a deck for me is really, it's rare sometimes. And the one thing I will say is I love the the kind of raised it is here on the back, where that like you can kind of feel it, but it does make them stick a little at first. I think oh, a tickle, it's okay, we'll be okay. And then also the gold gilding here, it's that it has like a little bit of a stick to it. And I know that the more I use it, probably like that will easily wear out. But just warning, I know that not everybody enjoys that kind of card stock. And I do find that if it's not a matte gilding, it seems like it sticks even more at first. Like, again, you just have to break it in usually. Next up, this is the Spreadcrafter Oracle. I would have this in the shop right now if it was possible, but currently Fableston is moving, like kind of shipping warehouses, and so in between I cannot restock, but I will be. I love these lavender edges. Now this is that matte. This feels different and it does not stick like that. This deck is actually very unique in the fact that it's not just like a normal tarot and oracle deck. You can use this as what it says, a spread creator, pretty much. There are a lot of different categories, but what I do, I actually did a video, I don't know if it was on here, but I did a video explaining how I use this deck differently. Kind of use it as a journal, kind of question answer deck. I'll have a full conversation with this deck. It's like, I'll ask a question, it'll respond. I ask another or say something back. You know, we have a full conversation, and I do love to journal it out with this deck. I just think it's also very beautiful and so unique. If you do have trouble with spreads, I mean, it's going to be perfect for that. But there's a million things this could do. I think that's quite brilliant to have a deck that can do things so differently. Let me get you in there. That was my fault. But it also like walks you through everything here. There's a little guidebook with it that is very helpful. Then we have a deck that I have not even, like, I opened it to look at it, and I didn't even go through every card. My son came home from school and I just didn't have time to finish looking at it. But I have been getting in a few mass market decks in the shop, and I was watching a lot of people's only 10 mass markets video, and this is just one of the decks I found. I liked it. It kind of reminded me of like that Druidcraft vibe a little, and I wanted to check it out. It looked very beautiful, and I think it is. I'm not sure yet, because like I said, I do like to spend time with decks, and if I can, like, spend a good bit of time with a deck before I bring it in the shop. I have that's a learning experience, but at first, every deck I brought in was a deck that I knew and loved. But as I get new decks come out, as I get new decks in, I find that I am getting to know new decks, and I have rushed a couple in, and thankfully that has worked out well. I kind of like had some sort of feeling about them, but I don't like to do that often. So this was really fun because I could, you know, just get a copy. I really love the size of this guidebook. I love this guidebook. It was one of like the winner moments for me. I love a good set. But the only time I really bring in a deck that I haven't like spent time with first is like a Kickstarter, and that's obvious to why. Next up is a deck that it's going to make its way in the shop. It's in the kind of the the queue. I will bring, what I like to do a lot is to kind of space it out where I'm bringing in like not too many of the same type of deck. I'm bringing in and out things. I'm kind of rotating, and I really like to do that. Also, funds. So I have to wait sometimes on that as well. This is the same creator who does Love Oracle of Eden. I really love the quality of the sets here. Like, this is a full event, and not only that, but like well written, and the deck is quite beautiful as well. I find that my favorite decks also come from my favorite creators, and it's like people can, hold on, I'm sorry, I riffle, you know. But yeah, I did try to straighten them. I might have just had them upside down. I tried to put them back in order, and then I got sidetracked. I guess I tried. But I really do think this is a beautiful deck, and I really, really enjoy the creator of this deck. So I am happy for this to be a future deck in the shop. I just think it is quite unique and beautiful. And then what I was saying though is some of my favorite decks of all time are from my favorite people. So that is, like I was just talking about Mari, who does the Gentle Tarot, just like one of like the greater people, you know, out there. So I do try to actually like invest in people that and their decks, and like show people that I really like do value, I guess. But that is the short video. That is for us, that's 15 minutes. So I think we did really great, but there's probably a deck or two that should be in here that isn't, but I think I did a really good job. I would say I probably have about 60 decks in the shop. I have probably, looks like about 20 here that are not in the shop, but are still my decks. Some of those have kind of like come out of the shop and to go back in, they're riding the wave. Of the decks that are not in the shop and are not intended to be or haven't been in the shop, there's like maybe half of those are decks that just will never be in the shop or can't be. I have a few decks that are just out of print. And then, like I said, I have a large majority of decks, probably almost equal to as many as I have in the shop are in purgatory right now. They've either come out of the shop and I just don't have the space in my collection. That is a hard one to let go of, is like when I really enjoy a deck, but it's out of print now or whatever it may be, and I can't have it in the shop anymore. I still like to keep my kind of personal collection smaller, just because I don't have time and I want them to live and love and like experience the world and be with someone who can use them. So I do have some decks in that next video that are like, you'll see my face when I'm letting them go. But that next video will be really fun too, because any of the decks that you see are completely available. You can like comment to me, message me, email me, whatever it is, and we could try to set up something where I'm finding homes for them, because I do intend to. What I want to do is get a pre-loved section on the website where I am like releasing these kind of decks out there in an easy way for you to do it. Right now I don't have that set up and I can't do that, but I do have like access to like all the places you can like resell things, and also like we can even just like PayPal it and I can just ship it to you. So we'll do that in the next one. Again, that'll either be next week or the week after you're seeing this, and I'm posting this today. I had to re-record this video because the audio was not there. I recorded an entire video where I was just talking to myself really, and that sounds like me. So I didn't intend to record today, but I'm happy to. We had a good time. I enjoyed talking about these decks with you. And let me know, like, what's your secret special deck that's in your collection that like has just lived on, maybe. Can we just pull a card? I do not riffle this deck. Ooh, well, hello. Okay, guys. I take it back. We did not pull the card. Let's not pull Three of Swords today. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. Let's not do that. Erase. Thank you for being here. I love you. I will see you next time.